Hi, I'm Tammy Cornett. Welcome to iPhone Chef. Tonight we're going to start getting ready for the holidays. We're going to make a little potato cake. Absolutely one of my favorite desserts that we make in our family. First thing we're going to do is take 2 cups of white flour, just regular flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and now I've got 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and a ½ teaspoon of allspice. And then I've got 3 tablespoons of cocoa. And now I like a little dark cocoa, so I've got 1 tablespoon of dark cocoa and 2 tablespoons of regular cocoa. Now I've got all my dry ingredients in here together, and I'm going to mix these up real nice. Kind of get it just to get all that brown spread around there. Now I'm going to use another bowl to mix all my wet ingredients together. I'm going to start with a cup of white sugar. I'm going to go with a cup of brown sugar, and I've got ½ a cup of light brown sugar and ½ a cup of dark brown sugar. I'm going to dump those in there. I've got 1/2 cup of canola oil. I'm going to add that in. I've got 2 eggs, ½ a cup of milk, and I'm going to add just about a ½ teaspoon of vanilla. You can add a teaspoon if you want. I think a ½ teaspoon does this recipe extremely nicely. Now I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to get that brown sugar nice and mixed up. And the eggs. Now, this is a recipe where it's important that you do your wet ingredients in one bowl and your dry ingredients in another bowl, because you're going to mix them all together. For some reason, I've tried mixing them all together and it just doesn't work as well. Now, this is potato bread, so what I'm going to need next are some warm mashed potatoes. I cooked these up earlier. I made a big old batch of mashed potatoes and made a little mashed potato casserole. Now these are warm. There's a cup and a half here of warm mashed potatoes. I'm going to put them in here. This is a great recipe to make when you've got extra potatoes after Thanksgiving or after Christmas, when you've cooked up a whole lot of potatoes. Or just make the potatoes and have this cake. This is absolutely just really, really, really a great dessert for the holidays or any time of the year. And I'm just going to use a wooden spoon and mix this up. A few chunks of potatoes will be just fine there. Now I'm going to take my dry ingredients. I think we've got this mixed up pretty well. I'm going to take my dry ingredients and I'm going to dump those into the wet ingredient bowl. Okay, I'm going to stir this up. Now, the original recipe came from Cameron Bartlett in Dispatana, Kentucky, one of my favorite old fellas in the whole wide world. And from Thanksgiving to Christmas, if you showed up at his house, you always went home with a bundt cake of this cake. This was his grandma's recipe. He was 75 when I met him, and this was just a recipe that had been in his family as long as he could remember. Now, when you get this stirred up real good, which it looks like it's going to take me a little bit of time here. Now, you can't put this in a blender. For some reason, it just gets it to the wrong consistency. There we go. It's getting a nice stir on there. Okay. Now, it's all mixed real well. I'm going to take a cup of golden raisins and dump those in there, and I'm going to take a cup of walnuts. Now, regular raisins would work, or maybe there's another nut that you like, and you can use those if you want. Chocolate chips go really well in here. Oh my. And now I've got this mixed up real nicely, and what I'm going to do is I've sprayed this pan. This is one of my favorite little pans to do this in, the little gingerbread girl and gingerbread boy. And I'll pour this into here, and then I'll bake it in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes. Now, this is one that I did earlier today. And after it comes out there, you just want to take a little powdered sugar and sprinkle it on top. Now, the recipe that I gave you earlier actually makes 1 full bundt pan, but you can make 2 of these little gingerbread sizes, and it makes an absolutely great present for someone. I'm going to wrap this one up. Actually, I think I'm going to try this one. I'm going to wrap the next one up and take it over to my favorite neighbor. Let's see how that... as good as it always is. I'm Tammy Cornett. I'm the iPhone Chef. I'm Kentucky Proud. We'll see you next week.